In today's breaking story, CNN is reporting that Elon Musk's misinformation megaphone has created a huge problem for election officials in the states that are likely to determine the presidential outcome. The falsehoods are streaming from his X platform faster than they can be debunked, and it's a serious concern that puts election integrity at risk. I will share CNN's report in the challenges state by battleground state in just a minute, but first have a look at this mind-blowing BBC investigative story that exposes the seedy underbelly of X, specifically how users are incentivized to spread lies on the Musk-owned platform with financial rewards, and it begins with that blue check mark next to their name.
The social media site X is a hub for conversation about the US election. But some of the posts are fake and misleading.
I've been investigating networks of accounts on X. Some of the stuff they share is true, some of it isn't, some of it is AI generated, some of it's just political posts. And I've tracked down one person who's a part of one of these networks and who has agreed to meet with me. I've never met him in real life. I've come to Florida, so let's ring on his front door and see what he has to say.
He's called Freedom Uncut online. He says he's an independent, but would rather Donald Trump become president. He says he spends up to 16 hours a day on X, sharing AI-generated pictures like these and streaming. While some of these posts are obviously satirical, others are less fantastical. It's the more provocative content that gets views, he tells me.
It's kind of interesting because the balance between free speech and saying stuff that you know is either untrue or you just say it in a very brash way to egg people on is an interesting era that we're in.
Recent changes at X allow eligible users to make money based on views and likes more easily than before.
Oh, I know people that are making the pay periods every 2 weeks, and I know people that are in the 1,000+ range.
I've messaged dozens of profiles in these networks. Some support Donald Trump, others Kamala Harris. Some have been racking up millions of views and confirm they're making anything from several hundreds to thousands of dollars. Misleading and false claims on X from other users have included this doctored image of Kamala Harris working at McDonald's and false or unsubstantiated claims about election fraud. Democrat Brown-Eyed Susan has shared unfounded conspiracy theories that the July assassination attempt on Donald Trump was staged, and AI-generated images of him too. She posts these along with her political views because she wants Kamala Harris to win the election.
The only reason I make anything right now is because Musk assigned me that blue check. I didn't ask for it, I can't hide it, and I can't return it. So I clicked on monetize.
I asked X about whether its site is incentivizing users to post like this. It didn't respond to me or request to interview its owner, Elon Musk. This matters because misleading posts from X seem to be spilling out onto other social media sites with more users and could affect voters. Mariana Spring, BBC News, Florida.
So that was a peek at Musk's war on information from the inside, and now let's look at the mess it's creating on the outside in the CNN article entitled "Election Officials Are Outmatched by Elon Musk's Misinformation Machine." It goes on to say, ever since former President Donald Trump and his allies trumpeted bogus claims of election fraud to try to overturn his loss to Joe Biden in 2020, debunking election misinformation has become akin to a second full-time job for election officials alongside administering actual elections. But Musk, with his ownership of the X platform, prominent backing of Trump, and a penchant for spreading false claims, has presented a unique challenge. The bottom line is it's really disappointing that someone with as many resources and as big of a platform as he clearly has would use those resources and allow that platform to be misused to spread misinformation. Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson told CNN, when he could help us restore and ensure people can have rightly placed faith in our election outcomes, whatever they may be. This week, Musk directed his followers to report election irregularities to an election integrity community on X. The feed is administered by Musk's America PAC, which is bolstering Trump's campaign. The feed included some election claims that had already been debunked by state officials. It's just a staggering situation with him at the helm, said Nita Jankowicz, CEO of American Sunlight Project, which aims to expose disinformation. I don't know if anything can fact-check him. And that sums up the sad social media world we live in. During that BBC report, do you remember the guy spreading lies on X who said, the balance between free speech and saying things you know aren't true? That is also a sad commentary on the world we live in, and maybe someday a court will decide if Musk can continue to use the platform as his ideological bullhorn. Meanwhile, here's what we can do to combat misinformation on X and support election integrity. We can follow credible election sources, verified nonpartisan sources such as state election boards and government websites that provide the most accurate election updates, not X. And local election officials play a critical role in maintaining democratic integrity. Stay informed on their updates, support their efforts, and share verified information they release. And we have to push back on Elon Musk's bullhorn by defeating Donald Trump on November 5th. Once Trump is vanquished, he will be of no value to Musk and their transactional cabal will be over. And maybe he'll renew his focus on electric cars and rockets, at least until 2028.